Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Tuesday, the 17th of September. Reading through the Psalms together with Ezekiel, using McShane's reading scheme, there's a link in the passages. In Psalm 67, we read verse 1, "May God be gracious to us and bless us, and make his face shine on us, so that your ways may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations." A wonderful image, a wonderful prayer, and part of our liturgy in the Anglican Church. May God be gracious to us and bless us and make his face shine on us. Wonderful image of God's presence and what God does for us. But that's not something that just kind of stands alone. There's a context of it and a practical way that this becomes expressed in our lives. And we pick that up in Ezekiel. In Ezekiel, God was challenging the people of Israel and saying, I called you and was guiding you, and you ignored me. That's why judgment has come on you. But I was doing what I could for you. And we're reading from verse 11 of Ezekiel 20. God says, I gave them my decrees and made known to them my laws, by which the person who obeys them will live. And if we're looking for God's blessing, we need to look to his laws, because God has given us his decrees and his laws by which the person who obeys them will live. If we're looking for life, if we're looking for the fullness of life, if we're looking for the blessing and the abundance that God promises, that's not just a call on God and sit back. That's a case of call on God, look to his word, and walk in his ways. God has given us his decrees and his laws by which the person who obeys them will live. And as we let God guide us and as we walk more and more closely with God, we find our life becoming more abundant and God's blessings becoming more evident. And so the prayer for blessing is also a prayer for obedience on our part to walk in God's ways. And as we do that, God says he'll make his face shine on us in verse 2 of Psalm 67, so that your ways may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations. And our prayer is that as we walk with God and become more like him and reflect his standards and ways to the world, God's name will be glorified, and his salvation will become known more widely. So be encouraged to walk with God, knowing that as we do that, God's blessing is in our lives. And as God blesses our lives, we become a light into the world and a witness to what God can do for people who are desperately seeking for help. So be encouraged to live with God and know that we are truly blessed.